So this is called Bloodied in Gaza, and it was just a few days after that had started. And again, based on these conversations I was having with my father. There is a complete blackout in Gaza now. The streets are as still as death. I'm speaking to my father, Laila El-Haddad, a retired physician who lives in Gaza City, on Skype from Durham, North Carolina, where I have been since mid-2007, the month Gaza's borders were hermetically sealed by Israel, and the blockade of the occupied territory further enforced. He's out on his balcony. It is 2 a.m. I can only see gray plumes of smoke slowly rising all over the city. Everywhere I look, he says, as though they were some beautiful, comforting byproduct of some malicious event. My father was out walking when the initial strikes began. I saw the missiles falling and prayed. The earth shook, the smoke rose, the ambulances screamed, he told me. My mother was working her shift in the Red Crescent Society when one of the police stations behind the clinic was leveled. Now, 3 days later, they are trapped in their own home. My father takes a deep, restorative sigh before continuing. Ehud Barak has gone crazy. He's gone crazy. He's bombing everywhere and everything. No one is safe. Explosions are audible in the background. They sound distant and dull over my laptop speakers, but linger like an echo in Death's Valley. They evoke terrifying memories of my nights in Gaza only 2 years ago. Nights that till this day haunt my 4-year-old son, who refuses to sleep on his own. Can you hear them? My father continues. Our house is shaking. We're shaking from the inside out. My mother comes to the phone. Hello, 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 dear, she mutters, her voice trembling. I had to go to the bathroom, but I'm afraid to go alone. I wanted to perform wudu before prayer, but I was scared. Remember the days when we would go to the bathroom together because you were too afraid to go alone? She laughs at the thought. It seems amusing to her now that she would find her death in a place of relief. That she is now terrified of that same seemingly ridiculous scenario. It was really the fear of being alone. When you hear the news before it becomes news, you panic for clarity. You want someone to make sense of the situation, package it into comprehensible terms and location, just to be sure it's not you this time. It's strange. My whole body is shaking. Why is that? Why is that? She rambles on. Continuous explosions audible in the background. There they go again, one boom after another. 15, before that 1 or 2, maybe 20 total so far. Counting and systemizing the assaults makes them easier to deal with, more technical, more remote. We speak to each other throughout the day. Last night, she called to let me know there were gunships overhead, as though there was something I could do about it, as though my voice would somehow make them disappear. The rains of death continue to fall on Gaza, and silently the world watches. And silently governments plotted, how shall we make the thunder and clouds rain death onto Gaza? And will it all be made to seem, in the end of the day, as a response to something? Rockets, broken truces, irreconcilability, as though the situation were completely acceptable in the period prior to it all. But it is the prisoners' burden to bear. They broke the conditions of their incarceration. Nevertheless, there are concerns for the humanitarian situation, as long as they do not starve. The warden improves the living conditions now and then in varying degrees of relativity, but the prison doors remain sealed, and so when there are 20 hours of power outages in a row, the prisoners wish there were only 8 or 10, and dream of the days when there were 4. Monday morning, 5 sisters from one family were killed when Israeli warplanes attacked a mosque next to their home. 4-year-old Jawahir Anwar, 8-year-old Dina Anwar, 12-year-old Sahar Anwar, 14-year-old Ikram Anwar, 17-year-old Tahrir Anwar. The small shop down the street from my parents' home, next to the Kins Mosque where many of Ramel neighborhood's affluent residents attend, opens for a little while after prayer. My father goes and gets whatever he can while he can. They have 1 package of bread left, but insist they're okay. Those with children are the ones who are truly suffering. Ramadan's grandchildren will only sleep in her arms now. They're wetting their pants again. My son Yusuf chimes into the conversation, unceremoniously popping his head into my laptop screen. Sido? Sido, it's grandfather. I like the fattoush you used to make. Sido, are you okay? Habibi, when we see each other again, if we see each other again, I'll make it for you, he promises. The very possibility seems to comfort him, no matter how illusory. It is my daughter Noor's birthday on January 1st. She will be 1 year old. I cannot help but think, who was born in bloodied Gaza today? So, we can do some question and answer if people are interested. I can do some more, but it's up to you. We can take a break.